New World Order, you underestimated the people. You took a gamble and you lost.
Okay, we don't like this. Okay, well then we're going to do this. And that is just how it's going to be.
Evidence brought to light that there is a corrupt officer, or that that officer did shoot that kid on purpose.
I don't care how I look, I don't care how I sound, I don't care what the beat is. I just care the message gets across.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the weekly report here on TWWRN. I'm your host, the Tin Man.
And I'm Lucid.
And we're not all dressed up.
Yeah, I know you all were looking forward to seeing me in my pajamas today, but unfortunately, because we're not going live today, which we decided to do today, but I mean, we can't really do it because we haven't sorted out the kinks and the bugs. I'm dressed in my everyday attire, as opposed to like later in the evening, 6, 7 o'clock, when I've changed into my pajamas and I'm done for the night. So you see me in my casuals. That's what you get.
There you go, there you go. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and treat everybody. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm good. I'm good.
I am sitting here with my pants down.
And I'm not looking. We can have a discussion this way, or we can attempt to become civilized people and put our pants back on.
Well, that's the point here.
Civility? Oh, we're talking about the first topic of the day. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is fairly evident that we as human beings are no longer civilized. And what I mean by this, ladies and gentlemen, is I came across the most ridiculous fucking news story of all fucking time. I do not know why this story was covered by the mainstream at all. And the story is, and this is right off of the Yahoo News, woman in India marries dog to ward off evil. Now, you hear about bestiality and shit.
Was this an arranged marriage?
I'll get into that. I'll get into that in a minute. But you hear about bestiality and shit, you know, but it's generally talked about as a taboo. You generally stray away from that as far as society is concerned. But here you
Even mainstream media don't want to touch that with a 1,000-foot pole.
Well, obviously they do now, because it's now in the mainstream news, talked about like it's an everyday thing. Here's the story. Initially reported on by ODD News and reposted by Yahoo on September 3rd. Emphasizing arranged marriages, the article discusses that in a remote part of India, 18-year-old Mangli Munda is marrying a stray dog to allegedly ward off evil spirits that her family thinks she has. The wedding was taken care of by the bride's parents. The dog was found by the woman's father, and Munda's mother was just as adamant about the need for her daughter to get hitched to the hound, which they named Shuru, saying, we have to spend money on this wedding. That is the only way we can get rid of her bad luck and ensure the benevolence of the village. Now, that's just dumb to me. It's like, okay, you have to buy the evil spirits off by marrying your daughter to a dog.
I have a question. Who walked the bride down the aisle? Did the Pooch's fucking family come and sit on one side and her family come and sit on the other side in the traditional marriage, or did they have a Mardi Gras? What the fuck?
Did they have a cat as the ring bearer?
That's what I'm saying.
It's a bizarre situation.
A parrot for the priest.
I now pronounce you, but man and wife.
Fucking ridiculous.
I now pronounce you, man, dog and bitch.
Dog and bitch.
Dog and bitch, dog and bitch.
Right, you got yourself,
Yeah, but this is a bizarre and initially fucked up situation. And naturally, the bride was not pleased with her parents at all. She was not happy with their choice of groom, saying, "I am not happy with this marriage," end quote. But, you know what, luckily for her, she won't have to honor those marriage vows because the relationship is not legally binding. And, you know, I'm not sure if this is for the obvious reasons, but as per the report, in the village in the eastern states of Jharkhand, it's just a traditional ceremony meant to ensure the longevity of a couple's marriage when Munda is eventually married to a human groom. And hopefully they can find a human groom and her ex-husband won't turn out to be
Okay,
a dog.
now I know that in the eastern continents, they traditionally view marriage as a sacred bond. And they usually don't deal with divorce and stuff like that. Now, is this one of those you can have several wives thing, but only reverse role with the female, where she can have several husbands? Because under the pretenses of their beliefs, how is she able to divorce the dog to marry somebody else? Or if that's not the case, how is she able to have a dog as a husband and
what they're saying
as a husband?
Well, you know, granted, this is a remote region apparently, and like the article says, the marriage is not legally binding. It's just a traditional ceremony meant to ensure longevity, which just doesn't make sense.
How degrading. How fucking degrading.
It is degrading. You know, if you're going to do arranged marriages, which I think is just fucked up anyway,
right?
At least go through the efforts of binding
somebody
of your own fucking species,
or something compatible. I mean, just compatible. I mean, it doesn't even have to be your own species.
Well,
just
she's 18 years old. You're telling me in 18 years they couldn't fucking find a human being to marry her?
Well, my problem with the whole thing is that
they were so
genetically compatible. Genetically compatible to us. I mean, she would have been better off marrying a dolphin. You know what I mean? Or a gorilla. I mean, why a dog? I don't get it.
I don't know. It's just, it's totally bizarre to me. I cannot wrap my mind around it. You know, but that's their culture apparently. But my grievance is, why is this in the mainstream news when things like this are such a taboo? You don't talk about these things in society. They're bad, they're taboo, they're icky. You don't fucking talk about this shit, let alone fucking discuss it in the news. I mean, what is the relevance of fucking putting this in the news? Unless we as a society are so degraded, and my theory is true regarding going back to the issues of homosexuality, the descent of society. One thing becomes acceptable, and then an even more taboo thing becomes acceptable, and then so on until everything
is just acceptable.
Is acceptable.
Which we will be covering that topic in future weeks, the descent of society, because I think that would be a good discussion to have, don't you?
I do agree. It's something definitely worth looking into, you know? Maybe a couple weeks down the line after 9/11 and all our other little fun shit is taken care of. That's something we will make a debate on.
Because I found a couple of things online just since we talked about this last night about the subjects we were going to be doing today.
Yeah.
You know, I found some things online too that I'd like to discuss, but we'll go into that off camera. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what do you got? I know you got a couple good ones.
All right. Well, I got two of them. I think I'm going to save the second one for the last one because that one's going to be kind of a fun one.
Okay. Well, what do you got?
The first one is fake cell phone towers.
Yay!
Basically, reports are now surfacing in media and news forums all over the United States that in July of this year, 17 fake cell phone towers were discovered across the United States. All the towers appear to be connecting to nearby phones, bypassing their encryption, and either tapping calls or reading texts. Basically, they can get into your texts and, you know,
jerk you off.
Yeah, record your phone calls.
Hi. And nobody knows the words to answer.
Yeah. News reports state that the identity of the tower or owners of these towers is unknown and that the NSA is likely not in any way involved. However, an investigation of public records regarding land titles would likely lead to their identity. An investigation that has yet to be conducted or even considered. I mean, these people haven't even taken the time to look into this. I mean,
they're
it's
just saying,
invasion
oh, we
of
don't know
privacy.
who it is. Even though you could look at public records and go, it's like, oh, well, so-and-so owns the land.
This is unconstitutional at its best.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, at its worst, really, unconstitutionalizing people's freedoms and their privacy at its worst here in the United States here.
Yeah, well,
But,
I know you got a lot more on that, too.
Yeah. All this from an article in Yahoo News referencing a report in Popular Science published last week. However, Infowars.com reported yesterday that, as per a publication by CBS News quoting the FBI and claiming that criminal hackers were operating these towers. Paul Joseph Watson of Infowars.com went on to say that it was the FBI in coordination with Homeland Security, the NSA, and local police agencies have been using devices called stingrays, not cell towers, to spy on Americans. Referencing documents obtained last year by Infowars via an unnamed government source that proves that these devices were part of a mesh network being installed all over the United States, in addition to quoting an article from Newsweek published yesterday titled, "Fake Cell Towers Allow the NSA to Police to Keep Track of You." This reads, the internet is abuzz with reports of mysterious devices sprinkled across America, many of them on military bases that connect to your phone by mimicking cell phone towers and sucking up your data. There is little public information about these devices, but they are now the new favorite toy of the government.
No, it was supposed to be favorite. They misspelled that, I think.
Okay, favorite toy of the government, agencies of all stripes. Everyone from the National Security Agency to local police forces are using them.
Yeah, and that.
Why? You hear about Miley Cyrus and Jessica Biel and all these crazy naked photos or videos that you see from these people's cell phones that have been hacked into. I'm pretty sure that this is part of that problem.
That's a good point. I didn't even consider that. That's a good point.
Yeah, well, I mean, we just heard about who was the one that just got their cell phone hacked? I forget her name.
I don't pay attention to celebrity bullshit.
Yeah, I can't remember what her name was. But anyway, it was kind of a famous actress. I just can't think of who it is right now. But she supposedly got her cell phone hacked, and pictures were all over the place about her, giving head or, receiving oral sex and, naked photos of herself, so on and so forth. These were actually posted to Twitter. The bit posts were actually on Twitter. I don't know if you saw those.
Yeah, I saw
in your hunts through Twitter the last couple of days. I know you've been really on Twitter the last few
Yeah,
times.
we've really been promoting the shit out of Twitter, and yes, I have noticed those, and I saw a few little tidbits on it. I tried to dive a little more into it just to indulge the curiosity.
By the way, what is your Twitter?
It is twitter.com at TWDBRN official.
Yeah, see, I've been following him for a long time now, and I never really looked into his URL, so it's kind of nice for you guys to know that information if you guys want to follow him.
The description for all of our social media outlets are posted in the description of all TWDBRN videos, so no worries.
Yeah. All right.
Can't say you can't find us. We are easy to find.
Right.
Okay, what else you got? I know you got another.
Yeah, the next one is about the slowing protest for net neutrality. Basically, it's porn sites are supposedly going to be joining net neutrality.
Yeah, I read something about that.
It's the thing about this article, and I'm going to say this up front here, is that it makes no sense to me. If they're going to promote net neutrality, they need to shut their sites down for the day. Anyway, I'm going to get into that in a minute.
Like Anonymous and many other activists do, just by completely avoiding the internet for 24 hours.
Right.
When we do the total blackouts.
Right. A story initially published by BGR reported Friday that a Pornhub representative announced that Pornhub and their affiliates will all be taking part in the September 10th internet slowdown demonstration. Pornhub sites won't be intentionally slowing down their videos, but rather they will be posting a big loading message that users will need to close before they can watch their selected videos, in a hopeful effort to reach 50 million people to educate them about the need for net neutrality. The Internet Slowdown campaign was created as a way to protest the FCC's proposal to let internet service providers create internet fast lanes that would let some companies pay more money to get their content delivered faster over ISPs, last mile networks, and that other people would suffer as a result. Many popular tech companies, including Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, and Netflix, have all come out against the proposal. Now, my thing with the story with the porn sites stating that they were going to, participate in the slowdown. What they need to do is they need to shut their website down. They need to not participate in the internet at all. Shut it down for the day. Don't let people who are addicted to porn get on your porn site. If you're gonna contribute to the thing, contribute fully or don't contribute at all. You're either all in or you're all out. Therefore, you are lukewarm, so I will spit you from my mouth. You know what I mean?
Okay, Jeebus.
Well, I'm just saying,
Jeebus, son of Bob.
How? Anyway, just, I mean, it's good that these bigger companies, though, are supporting the fact that they do not want these internet fast lanes, because one company may have more money than the other company, who could pay more than the other company can, so that other company is going to get fucked in the process.
Yep. That'd be like me sucking all your energy just to make myself run faster.
Right, and that's not fair.
You big muscular motherfucker and me so fucking skinny. Me so fucking skinny. Me so skinny. You alright?
You almost spit that out right now. Oh, me so skinny. Oh, me so skinny.
Yeah, but
dumbass.
That'd be like me sucking all your strength just to bring myself up to par.
Yeah, but see, my thing is that I like the way that the big internet companies supported this thing by being completely against it, but at the same time too, Pornhub, dude, come on, guys, you're either all in or you're all out. Well, you can't be on the fucking fence line.
I agree with you on that, but what I find interesting is that companies like Google and Facebook and whatnot, all these companies that are against the activist community are actually joining in what initially started as an activist cause.
Which sites?
Like Google, Facebook,
all
the main ones. They're against the...
I thought you were talking about Pornhub. I'm like, dude, they're like on the fence line. They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No, the main companies like Google and shit, they're against this new bill, and they're opposing it, which is interesting because they generally oppose the activist community. I mean, how long have we been fucking fussing with Google over this or that? It's not just TWWRN, but activists all over the place. Even Alex Jones and Mark Dice, big fucking name guys,
right,
have been having their fair share of shit from Google. So it's really interesting to see both the activist community and these major corporations actually on the same page for once.
Yeah, that is kind of bizarre, really. I mean, if you look at it that way, it is kind of bizarre because people who are so established and well-known generally don't like to... They like to be on the fence line. They don't like to be either hot or cold.
Yeah.
They like to be lukewarm.
Well, generally, they're in bed with the corporate elites,
right,
who fucking pay them to suppress this person or that person.
Right.
So it's really weird to actually see these people going against a New World Order agenda.
I agree.
That
it is kind of bizarre. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I think a bird fucking landed on the roof. Copper, go get that chicken. Oh, the garage door is open. If we had a fucking chicken run in here during the radio show, that would be funny as hell.
Yeah, we're not that lucky.
Yeah, no, we are.
You're good, but you're not that good.
Well, Obama apparently isn't that lucky either.
Alrighty.
Check this article out. ISIS is Obama's doing. And
Surprise, surprise.
This is what we've got. In an interview this past Wednesday on Fox News, Senator Rand Paul, while advocating a forceful response to the ISIS threat, called out President Obama on Wednesday, saying that his support for Islamic rebels over the last 3 years has led directly to the rise of the radical terrorist group, saying, quote, "I think that President Obama's support for the Islamic rebels has allowed ISIS to grow stronger in Syria." Paul added that they never would have grown this strong without their allies getting weapons from both the U.S., Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and Qatar. So really, we have done a disservice and created chaos that has allowed the jihadists to grow stronger. Paul added, to add further, that's what Paul said, and to add further heat to this issue, last Sunday during an interview on the John Katzimatidis show,
What is it?
Katzimatidis?
For the Katzimatidis.
Yeah, Katzimatidis radio show, former Republican presidential candidate directly blames Obama for the rise of the terrorist group.
Who,
Now,
ISIS?
Yeah, Mitt Romney, or I have commonly referred to him, shit on me. Mitt Romney says President Barack Obama's mistakes enabled the rise of the Islamic State, ISIS, and created the immigration crisis at the country's southern border. His 2012 opponent, Mitt Romney, said Sunday in a roundtable radio discussion hosted by John Katzimatidis, "Mistakes were made, and now we have ISIS," Romney told on the Katz Roundtable on New York City station WNYM AM. Romney argued that ISIS would not be gaining power if the United States had followed his plan back in 2012 for dealing with Syrian President Bashar al-Assad in an article on Newsmax.com. However, this is speculated by many news outlets to be nothing more than Romney exploiting Obama's awkward explanation of the establishment's policy on ISIS to gain political points ahead of a possible 2016 presidential run, and are not necessarily his actual views. And this is because there is little difference in the thoughts and opinions between Republicans and Democrats on ISIS in Syria. You know, that's a given. We've seen that numerous times. But regardless, it's anything but a revelation at this point, being that numerous evidence and stories have already labeled the U.S. government as the creators of ISIS and other terrorist groups, and that ISIS is in fact a group derived from Al-Qaeda, a group which has already been shown to be a U.S. government asset. And such stories and search references that support this are former Al-Qaeda commander, ISIS works for the CIA. NSA doc reveals ISIS leader al-Baghdadi is U.S., British, and Israeli intelligence asset. ISIS in Iraq, a CIA NATO dirty war op. Pentagon and CIA wants to keep ISIS tweeting. More evidence U.S. funds Al-Qaeda terrorists in Syria. America's allies are funding ISIS. ISIS and the plan to Balkans. What the fuck is that word? Balkanize?
Balkanize.
Yeah, balkanize the Middle East.
My thing is,
You know, the list goes on and on.
my thing is that how we not we as in the people, but we as the United States government, state that all these terrorist groups are assets to our country when they clearly are not. I mean, they're terrorist fucking groups. We label them terrorist groups for a reason.
Well,
how are they assets and terrorists at the same time? It's just not
here's
possible. I don't get that.
Well, here's the deal. It only makes sense if you're a tyrannical dictator or pushing for a tyrannical dictatorship. You use crises as a pretext to take away the liberties and freedoms of others, just like Hitler did when he burned the Reichstag government building. His
I get what you're
fucking
saying
people
there.
did that, and then he blamed it on other people.
No, I get
You
what
know,
you're saying there,
yeah.
but on the same token too, you got to see that just in that report right there, they're labeling them assets and terrorists at the same time. See,
Yeah.
Hitler was a terrorist, but an asset to his own people, but a terrorist to other people. You can't be a terrorist and an asset to the same group of people. It just doesn't work.
Well, you can if you're trying to keep the fact that they're an asset to you a secret. You know, you have these terrorist regimes out there that are really working for you so that you can say, ooh, look at these evil boogeymen. We got to go after them. We got to take your liberties because we can't do our job because these evil boogeymen are exploiting the loopholes in our system. That's what it comes down to. They create and use these groups to enslave the people.
Yeah, but how
That's
are they
why they're
considered?
assets.
Yeah, but how are they considered terrorists at the same time? I get how they're assets. I get how they're terrorists, but how can you label them both? They're either terrorists or they're assets. They're either good for your cause or bad for your cause, not both.
Think about it in terms of like pro wrestling. You got all these on the front of the curtain in the ring. You got these storylines: hero versus villain, this guy versus that guy. But behind the curtain, it's all one big family affair, and it's all done for the betterment of the business. Outwardly, ISIS.
So you're saying it's a money thing?
It's a money and power thing. I'm just saying that it's the same similar systems. Outwardly, ISIS and Al Qaeda are the evil boogeyman. That's the public image that is being portrayed. But behind the curtain, they're buddies all working together to take money and enslave the people. Because look at these 15 families, or the 13 families. Most of their investments and how they got to where they are is from wars. War is big fucking business.
No,
If nothing else, take the New World Order aspect out of the equation. War in itself is big business.
absolutely. It
And
makes
if you don't have an enemy to fight, you gotta create one.
It makes them the weapon makers and the soldier makers money, but it takes money to make money, and I get all of that.
Yeah. It's a fucking big game. But we're going to get more into this after we take our little break. We're going to go to Mr. Giggles now. I have no idea what that crazy son of a bitch is up to this week. Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't know. We haven't even got with him about this because he just keeps running into walls and doing all kinds of crazy shit. He's been playing a lot on the Xbox and watching YouTube videos and shit, so who knows what that crazy son of a bitch has got in mind. But we'll be back with you guys in a few minutes. Check back with you soon.
What is my this? No! Mr. Dingle!
Get Jazzy on.
I'm not quite that you get on! International! First class seat on the run, girl! I love this song. I know right now what the girls are need! I can't even say that's not proper English! And I'm not the smart one!
Talk dirty to me. Talk dirty to me.
dirty to me, talk dirty to me, get jazzy on me.
Get jazzy on.
What's that mean? I thought we were in America, we speak English in this piece of shit. What the fuck's a lipstick stamp? Is that a new kind of passport stamp? What the fuck? Why does somebody have to explain a booty? Will you talk dirty to me, talk dirty to me, talk dirty to me, talk dirty to me? Who writes these fucking songs? Uno, dos, tres! What the fuck's that? 2 Chainz! Phoenix Row! That reminds me of a joke.
What's that?
What do you call 4 Mexicans in quicksand?
I don't know.
Cuatro Cinco!
Oh, fuck.
Then don't go to America if you don't speak the fucking language! Talk dirty to me, 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 get jazzy on me. Who the fuck writes these songs?
I'm in fucking tears right now.
Run out of words? What the fuck? Who wrote that?
I don't know.
Who the fuck wrote that?
No. No, no, no. Really? He had to do that one. Oh, Jesus.
Are we even gonna let that play?
It's too late now.
Alright,
It's
well,
too late now.
alright, well.
What's done is done, Mr. Giggles.
I smell shit.
That was shit.
Do you smell shit? No, I literally smell shit. Copper, did you shit yourself?
I think he farted.
He did something, dude. Yeah, he's kind of licking his fucking,
Oh, God.
yeah, I hope he doesn't have dog shit on him. That's gross. Anyway, I might be giving
That
my
was
dog a
shit.
bath later.
That was shitty. Mr. Giggles' little segment. That was shitty. This has been a dirty show. Talk dirty to me. You guys bring up a good point. Who writes those songs?
Seriously.
I'm all for listening to whatever music you want. Damn, that was just fucking bizarre. Speaking of bizarre, let's get into our fucking topic.
What is our main topic today?
Well, 9/11's coming up.
Oh, that whole
Just a
nutshell.
couple days off from that shit. And
Oh, by the way, just to start the segment off, we will not forget, as the memorabilia saying for the 9/11 attacks. What the fuck, Obama? ISIS. I thought we were done with this kind of shit. That's all I gotta fucking say on the topic.
yeah, we
Seriously.
will never forget who really was behind 9/11 both times.
Well,
We all know the truth behind that shit. If they think another terrorist attack on American soil is really gonna help them, like I gotta call bullshit. It's like, you know what?
yeah, you've seen it two
Stick your
times
thumb-
now.
Stop sticking your thumbs up your ass and twirling around till you get to your elbow. It's not getting you anywhere.
And see, the thing about it is that you've already done it twice. What do you need to do it again for? I mean, it's caused nothing but problems.
Yeah, well, it's the same old song and dance like we discussed many times before. They're using the strongman's handbook. We're already on to the fucking game, and you know,
we've turned the page. We've finished the book already. Okay,
Mhm.
we're on to the next fucking series of books. We're on to the next series of novels here.
Yeah, be original in your shit. If you're gonna fuck the people, don't use the same old shit that's been used for thousands of years. Okay, the people fell for it for a little bit. They didn't buy your official story. They started looking into shit. Now they don't buy anything you say. Which brings me to something. I believe this was on Infowars.com. can't remember right offhand. I know I saw it somewhere. I think it was InfoWars. But the article was referencing that there was a poll recently taken by the United States government, and that 60-some-odd% of Americans support going after ISIS right now. Now I've got to ask a question here.
Okay.
What percentage of Americans actually got to participate in that poll? I didn't get any email or any notifications
Nor did I.
take part in a survey.
Nor did I. It was probably one of those college polls, and I'm going to tell you what they do in college, because I've been in college and they've asked me to take polls before. One of the polls that they do, one of the types of polls that they do is they tell you, go out and ask 10 people. Okay? Out of that percentage, that's the percentage you're going to get. Now, then they say go out and ask 50 people. Out of that percentage, that's the percentage you get. Then the max that they normally do is about 100 people. I've heard them as high as 1,000, but they usually take polls on a limited number of people in their local area. Now, that doesn't account for, other states, other cities, other counties. It has no bearing on my opinion. I'll tell you that much. I didn't get to participate in that poll. It has no bearing on his opinion. He didn't get to participate in that poll. So
it's probably doesn't pertain to the opinions of a vast majority of Americans.
Just the opinion of the locals. Just the opinion of the locals, who may or may not be generally Republican or Democrat.
Yeah.
At that particular point.
If you're going to say that 60+% of Americans support another war on terror, then you actually have to poll 100% of Americans. And that clearly didn't happen. So what's the real statistic? It's what is the actual percentage of Americans who are actually for going after ISIS?
Between me and you, what do you think? Do you think we should, or do you think we shouldn't? Do you think we should bother or no?
I honestly think it's bullshit. It's just show pony bullshit.
Meaning what? Do you support us going after ISIS or not? That's the opinion I'm trying to get at here.
Well, it's obviously to further the globalist agenda, so I would be inclined to disagree. If it were an actual terrorist organization and not a government-made threat, then I say, yeah, go after them. Whoop their fucking asses. But being that it's show pony WWE style bullshit, I say quit playing these fucking kayfabe games.
The pre-written script bullshit.
Yeah, the fucking bullshit. And just find something better to do with your fucking time. If you can't live with the rest of society, just go off and do your own thing, okay? You got these 13 fucking families. You got these politicians. They don't fucking associate themselves with the general population. Just...
Maybe that's who they asked, the polls.
Perhaps. They polled themselves.
Right. That sounded dirty. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
That reminds me of what you did on that one video when I was talking about the issue with Russia, when you were fucking yelling from the kitchen, "Give them a reach around."
Exactly.
That's what that reminds me of. But it is bullshit. And as far as you bring up a good point. Maybe they did just pull themselves, and that's another point I do want to bring up at another time. But I'm just going to touch base on this briefly. We obviously can't trust the United States government to do what's in the interest of the people. So maybe it needs to go back to being a vote by the people, instead of this shit, all these laws and regulations and shit going to vote in Congress. Maybe the president and Congress and the Senate and all them come up with these ideas, and then they have to put it to a public vote. Maybe that needs to be legislation, that every idea that Congress or the president or this branch of government or that branch of government has, if they want to pass the law, they have to put it to the people. They can no longer pass it themselves.
Right.
I think that would alleviate a lot of the problems.
Well, that would turn our society into a democracy again. Oh no, not that.
Yeah, but then you got the issue of voter fraud and all that shit, you know, with the INS voting machine. So then you have to have another piece of legislation.
Yeah, but you
that-
also have this MTV pop culture. Let's vote for the shit that's popular. Bullshit. Even
Who's
if you,
gonna run this bitch?
even if you don't know who to vote for or what to vote for, vote anyway. Your vote counts. Bullshit.
No.
If you don't know the facts, don't vote. You're fucking it up for everybody else. Just fucking it up for everybody else.
Learn the fucking facts. Look at the things.
1940s, 1950s, dude, we were an educated people when it comes to politics, when it comes to, you know, who's going to run the presidency and who's going to be, you know, who's going to run this bitch, for lack of a better phrase. Nowadays, we get our information from Twitter. We get our information from Facebook. We get our information from YouTube and all these social media sites that have twisted views and opinions. You know, people watch too much fucking MTV. People watch way too much fucking reality TV shows. You know, who cares if you're a teenager and pregnant? Who fucking cares? You know what? There's terrorist activity going on. There's more important things to fucking worry about. And I get that people need something to fucking take them outside of themselves. Read a fucking book. Okay?
I got lots of books. I love books.
No, I'm just saying, though, in general, read a fucking book. Educate yourself. Watch these blogs. If you are insistent upon watching something, watch these blogs. Let us challenge you. Challenge us.
Challenge yourselves, for Christ's sake.
Find out information for yourself.
Yeah, well, we present this shit to you. Fucking take the ball and look into it instead of, you know, we get a lot of fucking negative feedbacks like, oh, you guys are full of shit. You know, we get this, that, or the other from uneducated people. It's like, well, look it up. I guarantee you wouldn't be talking the shit you're talking if you actually researched the research the facts. You wouldn't be calling us tinfoil hat wearing loonies if you actually researched the facts and looked at what's going on in the world.
My thing
Too
is,
caught up in 16 and pregnant and the Kardashians, too busy trying to stare at Kim Kardashian's tits and her ass, when all it is like a fucking. It reminds me of that thing on Futurama, the Hypnotoad thing. You're fucking hypnotized by this fucking bullshit instead of looking.
The wool is
you.
pulled over your eyes, guys. Seriously.
Yeah,
I mean,
and,
you know,
and you wonder why they can get away with all these terrorist attacks and shit. In fact, let me bring up something. Carry on what you were saying. I'm going to bring up some shit.
the thing about all of this is that not so much of the Kardashians or whatever. Like I said, I know you need to have things to take your mind off of what's going on in the real world, and I understand
but don't let it take you away from the world permanently.
Yeah, because you are going to be affected by it at some point in time.
Well,
I mean, I didn't vote for Obama's election both times. I didn't vote because I didn't agree with either side, really.
Well, it's like that South Park episode, who are you going to vote for, the giant douche or the turd sandwich? They're both skull and bones. They're both going to fucking put a dick in your ass. Which do you want, a blue dildo or a red dildo?
Yeah, see, and the color don't matter.
Yeah,
Let's just put it that
it's
way.
still,
Color
it's
don't
still a
matter.
dildo in your ass.
Right.
You know?
At least for these last two elections,
You know,
color
at
don't
least
matter.
if we could get a fucking real election going with fucking accountability
And two educated fucking, you know, I might even be willing to vote, you know.
Well, it's not that they're not uneducated. They're just well-educated and servants to the wrong masters.
No. I think
they have to be servants of the people.
I think both candidates in both elections were douchebags. Both of them. The Republican side, douchebag. The Democratic side, even bigger douchebag. But at the same time, who are you going to vote for in that instance? The lesser of two evils, or just don't vote at all? I say don't vote at all. If you don't like either one, don't fucking vote. If you don't know any facts about either one, don't vote. I haven't signed up for 2 elections. I have not signed up for 2 elections. Actually, I signed up for the first presidential election with Obama and was it Kerry?
Yeah,
yeah, Kerry. But I didn't vote. I ended up not voting because I did my research before I decided to vote, and I didn't agree with either one.
Yeah, you know, we need real candidates who have the interests of the American people in mind. Well-educated.
Was it Carrie?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
It's
8 years
not-
ago. 8 years ago, I don't fucking remember.
Puppet A and Puppet B.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. And, you know, it all comes back to the same shit. Regardless of who's in office, they're going to do the bidding of the elite. And that is to push these terror events and strip the people of their rights and usher the world into a dictatorship and keep the people scared. And people really need to wake up to this shit. I mean, look at all that I've got here. Proof. FBI says Americans more dangerous than ISIS. InfoWars did this one. I thought it was funny as hell. Man crosses U.S. border dressed as ISIS terrorists. Flashback. 13 airlines vanished from radar months before the theft of the jet airliners in Libya.
That's crazy considering 13's a very unlucky number by superstitious motherfuckers. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not a red flag and a half. Yeah. Experts warn of inevitable Fukushima disaster in California. Fucking Obama carved out possible corridor for ISIS in New Mexico. War propaganda works. Large majority of Americans now want military action in Syria. Oh, there it is. That was the fucking article I referenced earlier. U.S. Army plans to battle anti-government dissent in mega cities. You are the terrorists, people. And they're scaring you with all these terrorist attacks like ISIS and the Taliban and Al-Qaeda and all this shit. To fucking label you as a terrorist because, oh, we don't know who all these people are, so we have to suspect everybody. So now we've got these cell towers that record your conversations. We've got the NSA spying on you 24/7. You are the fucking terrorist, and we're going to keep you scared by threatening you with scary shit. You know, and that makes you wonder, with 9/11 coming up, are we going to have another terrorist attack? Because we've been hearing it, you know, I mean, the articles I just referenced, you know, indicates that they might, that the globalists might try to push another terrorist attack, but if so, what are
they going to attack this time? Seriously.
I don't know. That's a good question, but more importantly,
this could be fucking, you know, drama. Okay, it could be a drama. It could be, you know,
scare tactic bullshit.
Yeah, it could be scare tactic bullshit, or it could be I don't know how many. I'm kind of a fucking fantasy geek when it comes to videos and movies and stuff like that, so I'm gonna say that right now when I reference this. Or it could be a Harry Potter fucking scenario where, you know, Snape ends up being one of the ultimate good guys in the entire thing. You think he's a bad guy the entire time, except for the last movie where you find out he's not. He's like one of the best guys in the movie. Okay. You know, maybe Obama has something up his sleeve. I don't fucking know. But at this particular point in time, with the facts that we have and the information that we've gathered, strong arm book bullshit.
Yeah, strong man's handbook bullshit. Hands down. But here's what I see. You got all these aircraft being hijacked, all these jet airliners. We let them have the benefit of the doubt after 9/11. You know, it's like, okay, more funding, take a few rights away. Okay, you know what? We were dumb enough, we gave them that. If they can't get their job done this time after the fact, over the same bullshit, then that's a pretty good indication that they are either completely incompetent and cannot do their job no matter what we give them,
or they're in on it.
And
which brings me to my next point.
It completely further undermines the credibility of the United States government and our resources.
Right. Which brings me to my next point too. How, if they are legitimately, you know, just can't do their jobs, how long does it take you to get your fucking act together? You know what? If I show up late for work, or if I don't fucking learn the shit that I need to learn at my job, I get fired. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But I don't get a paycheck that week because I didn't do my job. So,
Yeah.
but these fucking people, dude, you know what? They go to work and go on lunch. They're fucking taking a lunch. Let's take a lunch. Nobody can do their fucking job these days.
You know what? Go ahead and go into that. You and I had this discussion a while back. Go into that. Let the world hear your thoughts on this, because I loved it. I personally loved it.
I was having some issues a few weeks ago, trying to get some things handled, personal things I don't want to state, but every single person that I called that day to get this handled and taken care of was either on lunch or unavailable. You know what? If I take a lunch when somebody needs something, I get fired. Okay? If I take a lunch at the wrong time, I get fucking fired. Okay? I don't know. I don't know about you, but I'm off the clock when I'm on lunch.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it just doesn't make sense. People can't do their fucking jobs nowadays. They can't fucking hang in there an extra 5 minutes to take care of somebody's fucking problem. You know, 101% is what you need to give at work. Not 110 like most people. 101. That's it. Just a little bit of courtesy. Common courtesy for your fellow fucking man. If you go a little bit above and beyond, people are so grateful. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about you, but when I call people on the phone, dude, and I'm trying to get my bills handled, or, you know, trying to get some things handled with my personal fucking life and, you know, my stuff like that, and people take the time out to give me a little more information, even if they're running late for lunch.
Yeah.
You know, or if I'm a capable guy. I go into a supermarket, I'm a capable guy. I get asked constantly, do you need help out to your car with that stuff? No, I got it. I got it. In fact, just the other day we went shopping at Stater Brothers, and I went and got I asked for a bag of ice at Stater Brothers, and they said, I said, well, where's the ice at so I can grab it? They said, oh, I'll have somebody get it for you. I'm like, no, I'll get it. I appreciate that. I'll get it. You know what I mean? I'm capable.
Yeah.
I had to walk all the way to I had to go all the way to the other side of the fucking store to get it. But you know what? They went that extra mile to offer at least.
Yeah.
You know, and I was grateful for that. But people are so fucking lazy nowadays, they can't even give the 100% effort that they're supposed to give at their jobs, which would make life even easy at that point.
Yeah.
You know, we ran your card the other day at Stater Brothers, and the lady said, oh, the machine says not to run it again. Well, you know what?
Yeah,
my wife,
there was nothing wrong with the fucking card.
Yeah, my wife works
perfectly fine.
My wife works at Stater Brothers, and as a courtesy, they'll run it again anyway, even if the fucking machine says it's bad. They'll run it anyway. But you know what? We had to come all the way home because the bitch wouldn't fucking run the card again. We had to come all the way home. We had to make a bunch of phone calls. I had to waste a bunch of my fucking time to find out that there was nothing wrong with the card, that it was the machine at Stater Brothers. You know, if you just take that little extra fucking second of your time, just a little extra second, maybe 5 minutes, it may be fucking a half an hour, it may be that much. Yeah. But you know what? That's the difference between getting a tip, not getting a tip, keeping your job, not keeping your job, you know, getting hit by a car, not getting hit by a car, because you're paying attention. You're doing what needs to be done.
Yep. And sadly, our government officials and all these agencies that work for the United States government don't do that. And
nobody
every
does.
Time they drop the ball, they say, oh, well, we need more resources.
Taking a lunch.
Or we need more money.
We're taking a lunch.
We need a fucking pay raise to get off our lunch break. It's like, motherfuckers, we gave you the resources. You got all the fucking resources you need and then some.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to take a lunch right now. I'll be right back.
Son of a bitch. He's going to fucking take a lunch. Just bitch about taking a lunch, and now he's going to take a fucking lunch.
Hey, I ain't getting paid for this. I ain't getting paid for this.
You know what?
Why should I fucking be doing my job? Hold on. Why should I do my job when everybody else doesn't do theirs?
Because we lead by example.
No, I get that, but I'm trying to make a point here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, in the middle of fucking talking, I'm like, I'm going to take a lunch. What did you guys think I was going to do? Seriously, do you think I was going to come back? No. You probably thought I was going to go fucking get something to eat. Because that's what people do.
Yep.
You know, they start to help you, and then they're like, shit, I'm late for my lunch here. I'm going to transfer you to somebody else. Well, we're having a conversation.
Exactly. And
we're trying to figure this out. I've already given you my information. Now I got to fucking waste another half an hour to 45 minutes with somebody fucking else asking me the same question that you just fucking asked me. And then to top it off, I'm not even talking, you know, for my own bills that are in my name. I'm talking for ones that are in my wife's name, or my wife is talking for them in my name. Now I have to get back on the phone, or she has to get back on the phone to get permission to talk about this fucking account, or to pay this.
It all comes
Stop.
It all comes back to the same thing, you know. People don't want to do their jobs, yet they want all the perks and benefits. And when they drop the ball, especially in the case of the U.S. government, oh, well, we need more money, we need more resources. We didn't do our job the first time, so we need a pay raise. Even though they had the ability to do their job, like you said, they were on their fucking lunch break. The fucking lawyer who helped impeach Bill Clinton back in the day, I forget his fucking name.
Right.
He fucking had some inside tips and based on rumors and whatnot about the upcoming 9/11 event back in 2001. He was calling up government agencies. He was going out of his way to try to fucking warn these agencies to fucking get on the fucking ball so they can get on the ball and do something. Oh, well, we'll call you back, or you need to talk to this person, or you need to talk to that person. They just fucking dicked him around because they didn't want to fucking do their job. Either because they were on their lunch, or they just wanted to let the fucking shit happen because it's fucking insider bullshit.
Which is the case most of the time.
Yeah, and, you know, people... 9/11's coming up. 2001 was bad enough. We need to fucking stop this shit. Next week, we're going to have one of our street guys on the line. I talked to him earlier this week. Hopefully, if everything pans out, we're going to have him on the phone with us to discuss some new ideas and possibly backing a real American for a presidential candidate in 2016. We need to start changing shit. You know, most of the world is waking up. You see it every day.
I consider myself.
Woken up, shit needs to fucking be done.
I consider myself. I consider myself to
do it.
I consider myself to be a Republican. I do, and most of the time I will vote Republican just because of that. But I am willing to vote just for an American. Somebody who's for the Constitution, somebody who's for the people. I don't care what fucking color you are, dude, red or blue, it don't fucking matter. As long as you're for the people, by the people, a republic for the people, by the people, as long as you stand for those morals and values, as long as you abide by the rules and laws of the land, you're cool in my book.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't always agree with the democratic way of doing things. I don't agree that everything should be spread evenly and that rich people should have to pay more taxes. I don't believe in that stuff, and I think that's what discerns me from being, one of the things that discerns me from being democratic. I believe anybody who earns their way or their money should be able to keep it and do with it what they want. But as long as you're an American and as long as you have at least those types of morals and values as an American to do the right thing, to do what it needs to be done,
then you should do it.
Well, not even that. Think of it in terms of Spider-Man. Let's go to another movie reference, Spider-Man. Those with great power have great responsibility and have that responsibility for a reason.
Yep, and your responsibility is to the people of the country.
Not to your wallet.
You are running. Not to some globalist prick who's giving you a fucking handout out of his fucking wallet. Because I guarantee you, if the people wanted to, they could put those motherfuckers on ice. And I'm not saying go out and kill the Rothschilds or any shit like that. I'm just saying, if the people wanted to, these motherfuckers would be hanging at the end of a fucking rope. Ooh, pretty.
I had to throw another one on. It was dying.
Yeah, so stop serving these globalist masters. You don't need a fucking new world order. And as far as the American people go, and to all the people of the world, we're waking up. Let's take our fucking world back. Especially in America. This shit can no longer fly. We cannot allow another 9/11 to happen. We cannot allow this terrorist bullshit to fly. We cannot allow these government agencies and these puppets to fucking bullshit us with WWE spectacles of, ooh, ISIS, the bad guy, when they're fucking working for the globalist agenda.
Can we
It's
go?
bullshit.
Can we go into the 9/11 thing that happened in 2001 and actually touch on some of the reasons why we know that it was an inside job?
Yeah, let's touch on that for a few minutes. We don't got much time left, but let's touch on that a little bit here.
Okay,
What do you got?
I'll let you start it off because I mean I know you got more like company ideals about it. I got more theories. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
you got facts and numbers.
here's
I got like theories.
Okay, well, the owner of the trade towers, he took out a multi-million-dollar insurance policy just days before the 9/11 incident took place.
Let's see numbers.
If you want to get into the dynamics, and you're going to love this as far as construction and demolition go, the towers fell. They didn't topple over.
If you look at it.
They fell symmetrically.
I don't know how I'm going to make this stand on here so that I can show these people here. There we go. Okay. Pretend this pen right here is a tower. My finger is a plane. I'm sorry, but that toppled over. It didn't fall straight down.
Well, even so, those towers were designed to take the force of 2 airplanes each. You can't tell me that one airplane fucking took those towers down. And if, in the event that it did, the top of the tower would have fallen off, and maybe a few floors below where the impacts occurred.
But not the
collapsed.
bottom. Not the bottom. The top
No.
would have fallen.
No, you had these planes that hit the upper top regions of these towers. The tops of the towers would have toppled over.
You want to do a little science experiment? Play Jenga.
There you go.
Play Jenga.
Fucking Jenga.
As the structural integrity goes lower and lower, the more sturdier and sturdier it gets. Okay? So as you're taking pieces off the top, or from the center and moving it to the top, or from the bottom and moving it to the top, it doesn't matter how many pieces you take from the bottom is always going to be more sturdier because it's closer to the ground. It's going to be harder to knock over, whatever.
Yeah.
So when you pull that piece out and the fucking tower falls, do all the pieces fall? Do the bottom pieces fall over too? No, they don't. Just the top half from where you took the pieces off fall over.
And it fell all the way down into to the underground sections of the towers.
Which gives credence to the fact that it was demolition style taken out.
In order for a building to fall like that, to fall symmetrically like that, you have to take it out at the foundation, at the support columns, at the center of the tower.
Not from impact.
That way it collapses in on itself.
And not from impact, from explosion. That's the only way to take it down like that.
Yeah.
Because even if it was
the impact at the top of the towers would not affect the foundation
because still,
and the structural integrity of the bottom.
Pretend this is the tower here. Okay? A plane hits the top. It's going to fall this way. Okay? A plane hits the bottom.
Yeah.
It's going to fall that way. I mean, no matter how you look at it, it's going to topple. It's not going
to... the fucking plane that hits the tower, right? At which point, it's going to go...
Yeah.
It's not going to go down from the bottom. It's going to... Where the impact was, is where it's going to fucking break.
Yeah, but it didn't really even fall like from the bottom like this. It fell like this. Down on top of itself.
Yeah, it fell in on itself.
Yeah. Which suggests explosives.
Yeah, and you see buildings going up in flames. I mean, you've seen numerous reports that those buildings didn't fall down. The structural integrity remained strong. Even though the buildings were engulfed in flames.
Yeah.
And yet these buildings didn't go down. So it just doesn't make sense. And the official story and just everything that entails does not make any fucking sense.
Agreed.
And then we went to war with Iraq, where Al-Qaeda wasn't even active because of, quote, weapons of mass destruction. What the fuck did that have to do with 9/11? Okay, you're going to fucking split your attention? You're going to use that 9/11 was used as a pretext to go to war with Iraq, and then fucking do this war on terror as show pony bullshit after the fact. You know, there's just so many things that don't make sense. It's bullshit. We just can't allow this to happen.
Now, who do you think were the insiders on this?
Well, it's obvious that the government agencies were all involved. The NORAD stood down. I mean, shit, their own government buildings got hit. Fucking, like, the Pentagon, which allegedly wasn't hit.
Right.
And, you know, ironically, they were doing a drill based on what took place on 9/11. Hijacked aircrafts and shit. That's a strong coincidence. Just like the fucking marathon bomb. You had police and bomb sniffing dogs there doing quote training, bomb training.
Yeah.
And then boom.
Yeah.
You know, it's
if they were doing bomb training and they were bomb sniffing dogs, come on now.
Yeah. And yet, you know, they were on site doing the training, and yet the dogs didn't fucking sniff out these bombs. You know, you gotta call bullshit.
You saw soda in there?
A little bit, yeah. And you gotta call bullshit, and that's what it comes down to. We need to not let this happen. The government's threatening us with another terrorist attack. Oh, ISIS is gonna do this, or Al Qaeda is gonna do that, or little Jimmy's gonna do this. Fucking A. Osama bin Laden was a CIA asset. His alias name was Tim Osman. The Bushes and the bin Ladens are joint shareholders in Robusto Oil and hold major stocks in AOL, Time Warner, and other major media companies. Do the fucking research. It's bullshit. These terrorist attacks are bullshit to take away the rights of the people, and they're trying to use 9/11 to scare the people again.
I think it's funny how we're talking about, you know, the Eastern continent. We're smoking hookah.
You know what?
There's good and bad in everything, like you said.
There's good and bad in everything, but that's not what I was going to say. I've got friends who are Arabic. You know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how many times have we all gone and smoked hookah and fucking chilled out? There are good fucking Arabic people out there. There are good Islamic people out there. There are good people all around. You know, just because you got a few terrorists, even if they are legit terrorists, that's not everybody.
Right.
That's just an isolated thing. And it's being used because it's isolated and there's so few people involved and they don't know who the people are, supposedly, that they have to label everybody a suspect. So everybody's automatically a bad guy and has to be monitored. It's fucking pretext bullshit. It's been done time and time again, and people need to pay the fuck attention and pay attention to history and not allow this shit to happen again.
Well, I
Because
believe
if we have a repeat 9/11, I'm gonna start slapping motherfuckers.
I'm moving. I'm moving. I'll tell you that right now.
I've got places to go in Canada.
Me and my family will be out the fucking place here. I'm telling you right now, if something like that happens again. Because, for the plain and simple fact that, yeah, I'm not a soldier anymore. I'm not a police officer. I don't have weapons in my house to defend my family, but I will protect them in the way that I can, and that's to move away from the problem. And if that is the only way that I can get my family to safety, then that's what I'm going to do. Not that I don't like my country, not that I don't love my country, but
if your country's trying to destroy you, or your
Yeah.
government's trying to
I
destroy
need to
you,
get away from it.
Get the fuck out of Dodge.
Yeah.
You know, it's not running from a fight. It's pure and simple. Taking a step back, getting yourself out of harm's way to come back and make a more intelligent strike.
Right.
If that is something you choose to do. But America, let's try to keep it from getting to that point, please. Let's do something now. We still have the power. Let's use that power before we don't have it. Let's take back this country. Next week, like I said, hopefully we'll have our street guy on the line. And And with him, we're going to go into details of a possible presidential candidate for the United States, as well as a few other issues. So until next time, I'm the Tin Man.
I'm Lucid.
If you're watching this, you
You are the resistance.